Moran had been on the Valorian diplomatic vessel for 3 standard months, the only human among a crew of 200 aliens. As Earth's junior cultural liaison, he'd expected isolation. What he hadn't expected was Elena. Princess Elena of the Valorian Empire stood at the observation deck center, her crystalline skin refracting the light of a distant nebula into dancing rainbows across the walls. The Valorians were a people of logic and precision, their emotions chemically regulated since birth. Yet somehow Elena had made Moran feel less alone in the vast darkness of space. "The humans have a curious tradition," Elena said, not turning from the viewport. Her voice carried the melodic resonance typical of her species. "You observe celestial phenomena for leisure." Moran smiled, stepping closer. "Stargazing? Yeah, we've done it for thousands of years, even after we could travel between them." Inefficient, she noted, but her head tilted slightly. A gesture he'd learned meant curiosity rather than disapproval. Maybe, but some things aren't about efficiency. Over the weeks, their conversations had deepened. Moran taught her about human irrationality, about art, music, and the peculiar way humans made decisions based on something as unmeasurable as feeling. Elena shared the mathematical elegance of Valorian poetry, each verse a proof of universal constants. The Valorians found humans baffling. How had such an emotional, chaotic species developed faster than light travel? How did they negotiate treaties when their own feelings could override logic? Ambassador Thex had called humanity beautifully broken. But Elena listened differently. She asked about love, about fear, about the human concept of hope. Her questions became more personal, her presence beside him more frequent. "Your species bonds irrationally," she'd said once. "You choose partners not for genetic compatibility or resource optimization, but for—" "What did you call it?" "Chemistry," Moran had replied. "Connection, love." Love. She tested the word like a scientist examining a new element. "An emotion so powerful it overrides survival instinct. Humans die for love, kill for it, reshape their entire existence around it." "When you put it that way, we sound insane." "No." Her crystalline fingers had briefly touched his arm, the first time she'd initiated contact. "You sound alive." That moment haunted Moran for days. Valorians didn't experience love. Their reproduction was clinical, their partnerships contractual. Elena would eventually return to her homeworld and accept a logical pairing arranged by the Imperial Council. And he would go back to Earth, carrying memories of the alien princess who'd made his heart race with nothing but words. Tonight, the ship approached the Corvus Nebula, a stellar nursery where new stars were being born. Elena had requested his presence, citing cultural exchange value. But when he arrived, she was alone, her security detail dismissed. "I have been studying human literature," Elena said as he joined her. "Your Shakespeare wrote, 'Love looks not with the eyes but with the mind.' I found this paradoxical. The mind is logical, love is not." "Shakespeare also wrote that love is blind," Miran offered. "Yes, I read that too. And you're Rumi. Let yourself be silently drawn by the strange pull of what you really love." Strange pull. As if love were a gravitational force. Moran's throat tightened. "Why are you reading love poetry, Elena?" She finally turned to face him, and for the first time since they'd met, her bioluminescent markings flickered erratically, a sign of emotional destabilization in Valorians. A sign of malfunction. "Because I am broken," she whispered. 3 months ago, my emotional regulators began failing. The medical staff believes it is exposure to human pheromones, to your expressive behavior. I am experiencing what my people eliminated millennia ago. What are you experiencing? I believe your species would call it longing." Her voice carried a tremor, another impossibility for a Valorian. "When you are absent, I feel an ache I cannot measure. When you are present, I experience a phenomenon I can only describe as joy. My focus deteriorates. My efficiency has dropped by 18%. By every logical standard, I am defective." Moran stepped closer, his heart pounding against his ribs. "You're not defective." "Then what am I?" "Human," he said softly. "You're becoming human, at least in the ways that matter." Elena's crystalline hand rose, hesitating inches from his face. "My father will demand I undergo corrective treatment. The Empire cannot have an emotionally compromised heir. This," she gestured between them, "is impossible." Miran knew she was right. The Valorian Empire would never accept a human consort to their princess. Earth's government would consider it a diplomatic catastrophe. It was impossible by every measure that mattered to their respective worlds. "I wish I could marry her," Moran whispered to the stars beyond the viewport, the words escaping before he could stop them. A human habit, speaking wishes to the void, hoping the universe might listen. Eilena's hand touched his cheek, warm despite its crystalline composition. Her bioluminescent markings steadied, glowing with an inner light he'd never seen before. "I accept," she said firmly. Miran froze. "What?" "In human custom, a proposal of marriage can be verbal, yes? You expressed your wish. I am accepting." Her eyes met his with an intensity that transcended species. "I have calculated every possible outcome. Logic demands I refuse. Every rational path leads away from you. But you taught me something these past months, Moran of Earth. You taught me that humans conquered the stars not despite their irrationality, but because of it. You dare impossible things. You hope when hope is illogical. You love when love makes no sense." She took both his hands in hers. "If I am broken, then let me be broken with you. If I am becoming human in my heart, then let me be fully human in this choice. I choose the strange pull. I choose the beautiful madness. I choose you." Miran pulled her close, and for the first time in Valorian history, a princess chose love over logic, emotion over efficiency, impossible over inevitable. Behind them, stars were being born in the nebula's cosmic fire, and perhaps that was fitting. Because something new was being born here too, a bridge between worlds, forged not by treaties or technology, but by the most human thing of all, the stubborn, illogical, beautiful refusal to accept that love has limits. The galaxy would learn what Earth had always known. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology or their adaptability. It was their absolute insistence that the heart's logic mattered more than the head's. And now, that strength had infected an alien princess, spreading through the stars like the light of new suns. The universe would never be the same.